They are no longer going that way where the counterfeit king has been leading them, but they are going the other way where the true king is leading them. Let's talk more about it because you guys are no longer going to fight against each other. You're going to fight for each other. Welcome back to Prophetic Diary. My name is Tiny. If you're not already a faithful subscriber to the channel, click on the subscribe button. We would love to have you here. Everything down below in the description box will lead you right to Key Win Assist, is where you can find all the beautiful services that God has given us here. We have our EXP Masterclass. This is where you're going to get a total makeover from top to bottom because our outsides will match our insides. Hope to see you there November 8th, October 22nd. We have our PJs and Purpose. Grab your favorite pajamas. Join us. We're going to watch the Ruth and Boaz movie together. We have our PD Society Circles. They meet every single Sunday. This is a coaching groups where you can learn more about the spiritual realm. The Bible says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but evil principality. You need to know. We talked about the Leviathan spirit this past Sunday and how it's ruining spirits, how it twists your words and how it twists things. And you have to be set free from such things. But my people perish for lack of knowledge. If you don't know, you're not going to know what you're fighting against. So make sure that you're in the PD Society Circles. We're grateful for all that God does here. So use them. They're for you. I also have a beautiful word today that the Lord gave me in my prayer time. I'm just so grateful for all the Daily Bread videos and all the words that he brings here. Even for myself, I just don't know where I would be without these words. So the war is over. So in Matthew 2:7, it says, then Herod, now Herod was the king when Jesus was born, and he was very jealous and he was very evil. Then Herod secretly called the wise men and determined from them what time the star had appeared. The star, right? So this is to find out when Jesus was born. He asked the wise men to come. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and he says, go and search carefully for the child. And when you have found him, report it to me, so that I too may come and worship him. So he's being very manipulative because he's making these wise men think that he wants to worship Jesus, but he really don't. He wants to kill him. He says, and come back and report to me. But after being warned by God in a dream not to return to Herod, they left from there and went to another country. They went another way. This has everything to do with kingdom marriages and what God is saying here at Prophetic Diary concerning your future. Just like the wise men, your spouse once answered to Herod, to the wrong influences, the wrong systems, and the wrong mindsets. Just like Herod, that Herod spirit that we just read about is very controlling, manipulative, and power hungry, representing the pride, the ego, and lust, and worldly pleasures that we talked about, right? And they just simply try to keep your spouse from walking in purpose, from getting closer to God and getting in divine alignment. But this time, like the wise men, they're like, you know what, Herod, we're not falling for your mess. We're not following that voice anymore. And they're choosing another way. Somebody put down in the comment section, another way. You know, it's like casting your net to the other side. You realize that you run out of options. You run out of you. And you have to do things another way. They're choosing obedience over convenience. They're choosing to serve the true king and not the counterfeit one anymore. They realize I have to get in obedience. I can't fight against God anymore. So that inner war was never really about you. It was about, you know, who they would serve ultimately and who they will report back to. And they're just like, look. So God is silencing that noise, and it's putting them back in divine alignment because they're choosing, someone say, to go another way. So the fog can clear up because that obedience is going to shift everything, and it'll bring more peace instead of chaos and understanding. Where there has been silence. And I talked about the Leviathan spirit in our PD Society Circle, and I told you how it ruins marriages because it's very cold. It has scales. The Leviathan has scales, which make it really cold and make it really hard. So God is getting rid of that Leviathan spirit that we learned about. And the kingdom marriages are going to be able to be given to God, because there will be compatibility there and a calling there so that the love can mature. The problem is, like I said in my video the other day, these are so surface level. So the relationship really can't go any deeper, and it just cannot mature. So the fighting between you two, it has to stop, and you got to fight for each other. So, like I said, it will be spirit-led and purpose-driven. And we thank our Father for that inner war coming to an end. And you've done the work here. You've done so much work. You fought off everything. You've learned how to fight these spirits. And because of that, your spouse is coming into divine alignment. We don't fight the person. We don't talk to the person. You don't nag the person. You don't beg them to change. You fight in your war room. You learn about these spirits so that you can get them off of them. Because you're realizing you're not fighting that person, but some of you have put in the work. And that Herod spirit has been silenced, and the marriages can now come into restoration. The war never was meant to destroy you or that person. Even your own inner war, it was literally to deliver them. And so just get ready for peace to move in, ready for blessings to move in. And if you're part of the WhatsApp app chat, I shared a beautiful testimony of my life in there, and that was to let you know that our past just doesn't matter anymore. Satan is only going to talk about your past. He doesn't want to talk about your future. People want to talk about yesterday and keep you in yesterday, but God says we are moving on. Someone says we're going another way, and that way is into the new. That way is into peace. So press towards the goal, towards the high calling. If you feel led to sow into this word, go ahead and do that. And I would love to see you on a one-on-one coaching call with me and you to figure out exactly what's going on in your situations. So I'll talk soon. I'll be live a little later. Bye-bye.